Oh man, here we go. Here we go. More more videos, more TikToks, more videos and TikToks of BWs talking about black D1 players going for other races of women, but specifically Caucasian women, right? Yeah. So it's basically this is gonna be another video about another broad complaining about
niggas. I mean, nigga people. Oh Lord. Niggas. I mean, nigga people.
I messed up the soundbite, but anyways, if you guys don't get it, you know, it's just gonna be a BW talking about what a D1 athlete said about dating black girls. Now she's probably lying. She's probably lying, just off because there's been a lot of black women been caught literally capping, like I'm talking about red-handed capping on Twitter about these situations. And like I said, because a lot of really women in general are just mentally ill. American women are just they're mentally ill. They're mentally insane. So they'll say that somebody told them this, but it was just completely made up. But we'll listen to what she said, what a D1 athlete said about dating black girls.
In high school, I had a teacher that was a basketball coach and a football coach, and his daughter was dating a football player that was going to go D1. We all knew he was going D1. And the way he would talk about him was so slave mastery. He would be like oh yeah, their kids are going to be big. Their kids are going to be great athletes. Like just goofy stuff. And one day I became friends with one of the basketball players, and he told me, he said, yeah, when we date black girls, they encourage us not to. They say they're bad for our image and we should date white girls. And when we are dating black girls at the time, they basically like harass us on the team. Makes sense. It makes perfect sense, because these white girls come out of nowhere. I'll be like, I ain't even know the draft picks. I didn't even know the draft picks yet. And they already walking down the aisle with these white women. When I was in high school, I had a teacher that was a basketball.
I think she's lying. Or in terms of what she's talking about, motherfuckers is this is what I think is a lie. Where she said that if we date somebody else other than a white girl, if we date a black girl, they're gonna harass. What? Nah, that's a lie. I think she's lying. She's probably telling the truth about certain parts, but I think she just tried to add that in there. I think that was a lie. But let's listen to the video one more. Let's listen to the video one more time though, just to make sure I'm not, because I miss things. I miss things too. But let's listen to this one more time. One more time.
Coach and a football coach, and his daughter was dating a football player that was going to go D1. We all knew he was going D1. And
so we're assuming, yeah. So that means that the coach's daughter is white. Yes.
The way he would talk about him was so slave mastery. He would be like oh yeah, their kids are going to be big. Their kids are going to be great athletes.
That was probably one or two people that would say weirdo stuff like. You're always going to have, particularly when it comes to Caucasian people, that think way too much into it, and like it will be normal. It's normal to think about, oh man, he about to make paper, because really that's what they're thinking of. It's not necessarily just the kids. Most of it is really about the money, the paper that's going to come in, not necessarily their kids are going to be big and strong. Yeah, you'll hear that, but I don't know why. It's just ironic when I hear girls complaining about eugenics, because they practice women just practice eugenics naturally, just off of who they mate with, who they mate select with, who they date. It's like, so that's why I find it a bit ironic, a woman just in general complaining about eugenics, even though I see the people that they try to mate with first, right? Now that whole thing about she probably heard like two weirdos from the family that was saying about that, but really it's mostly about the money. It's mostly about the money, not necessarily the products of the kids that's going to come out of it. That's just natural. You know what I mean? It's mostly the money.
Like just goofy stuff. And one day I became friends.
And by the way, all y'all 304s posted in y'all car, y'all ain't talking about, like, you already suspect to me as a person. Especially, man, O'Shea Duke Jackson said this, and I agree. Most of these women that are making all these content out of their cars, talking to themselves in their cars, y'all don't. Nah, off GP, I don't trust y'all. Shout out to O'Shea Duke Jackson for pointing that out. Like I have to give him credit for that. I don't agree with everything that he says, but that right there, I agree.
One of the basketball players, and he told me, he said, yeah, when we date black girls, they encourage us not to. They say they're bad for our image and we should.
So I do, maybe he did say people do encourage him to not date black girls. That's plausible. I could probably see she could be lying about that. But this next part, this is where I might have to draw the line here.
They white girls, and we are dating black girls at the time. They basically like harass us on the team.
Or do they just poke? They say that they just harass us on the team if we date black girls, or do they just make jokes? First of all, I think she's lying about that part. I think she's lying about that last part in terms of harassing. Because I've seen just regular black dudes. I'm talking about regular black dudes I know. They'll date a different race and they'll get harassed about that. But if they date a woman in their own race, it's literally it's no problem. There's no problems as long as they date within their own race. Now, I have a very hard time believing that there are black men that play sports that get harassed more dating within their own race than when they date somebody of a different race. That I have a hard time believing. I think she's lying about that now, or maybe the black basketball player that she's talking about, the separate sports star that she's talking about. I think maybe he was saying, "Oh yeah, if I picked a black girl, my other teammates would probably make fun of me." Maybe that's it. Maybe that's what he said. But you know, if you tell a woman something, then she's gonna make it into something else. So the way she explained that's cap. I'm sorry, you're lying, or you're not, or she's really stretching what the basketball player said. I doubt it. I doubt that black athletes are getting harassed for dating women in their own race. I doubt it. I doubt it. Now, I'll say this. It doesn't matter what race of woman that D1 athlete is dating, right? If the guy's going D1, or people know he's going to end up in the NFL or NBA one day, right? Or the MLB, the women around him are going to do everything possible, whether dirty or fair. Whether dirty or fair, they're going to do anything possible to make sure that they're the number one girl in his mind going forward. They want to be Savannah. They're going to make sure they're the Savannah James and not. It don't matter what race that woman is. So whoever is the D1 or the golden athlete, whoever is his woman is going to be targeted by other women. And they're going to do anything in their power, whether to get the girl to cheat on him, or whether get the girl sick, whether to kill the girl. People will take it that far. Yes, people will take it that far. Yes, they will take it that far. Whether they get the girl killed, you know what I'm saying? They're going to do anything and everything possible to make sure that person is not the number one person, and then them themselves is the number one girl that they can choose from. Now that is true. Now that has nothing to do with race. That's just competition for wealth and resources. That's just competition for wealth and resources. So that's all that is. Now, a lot of what she's saying is cap, and that's what I will conclude with her assessment of things. And it is telling that she is doing that video in her car. I think she's crazy. I think she's lying. Oh, does she have a page? Let me see. And this is also what I get from this. This is what's interesting to me. This is what's interesting to me. Who cares? Who cares if all D1 athletes don't want black women, or if D1 athletes prefer white women? Who cares? Just pick somebody else that wants you. There's plenty of other black dudes that are not. I'm talking about most black dudes are not D1 athletes. Most black dudes want to be with black women. So why don't you pick another black man in a different arena to be with? If the perception is D1 athletes don't try to be with black women, okay, why don't you go with somebody else and let them chase you? People never even think about it like that, but you know, it kind of actually exposes what women are really after. Because I'm like, well, you have plenty of other black men that would accept you, but you're so focused on what D1 athletes and celebrities and entertainers are doing. This is why when it comes to women complaining about men, you can't take it seriously because they're only looking at certain men. So their assessment on what men need to do or what men are not doing, it's not their sample size, it's corrupted. I'm going to do a stream and I'm going to add what this woman. First of all, look at her face right here. She looked. I'm sorry, she looked crazy as hell. Anyways, let's look at her page real quick. I think I got her page. Zero posts. So most of it is her TikTok. Okay, so let's look up her TikTok. 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 Oh man, TikTok.com. Let's hit that search button real quick. Let's do a little bit of copy and paste. Let's see if she pops up. I don't know how many followers she has. I don't know. Black women only. Oh Lord, have mercy. Which one has more followers? It's probably Speaking My Truth. This is how you know this is a whole red flag. Speaking My Truth. That is another thing that people got to stop doing. Talking about my truth, her truth, his truth. No, there's the truth. There's the truth, not his truth. It's the truth. Anyways, yeah, I'm sorry. This girl a whole red flag. I'm not saying she ugly. I'm not saying that, but she a red flag. You know what I mean? I guess here she talks about pro-blickety black issues. But yeah, it's hard for me to take people like this seriously. Okay, let's see what she.
So my black girl beauty tip, I used to watch this girl on YouTube named Chrissy, and she really
can't find that video of her talking about dudes in black dudes in college, right? It's probably this video. She wearing blue. Is this it?
Thank you, ma'am. And for the people.
No, that's not it. But I'm like, okay, so what? But that's why I always laugh when I hear particularly black women complain about D1 athletes not quote unquote. Why are you so focused on a demographic of people that so called doesn't like you? It's very interesting, but it just shows you what women are really, who they're targeting and who they're looking for above all else. It actually makes you, in my opinion, actually makes you less valuable. Let me see. So they say the goal is to keep that money from going into black generational wealth. Yeah. Look, man. They say that, look, because they always complain about men being entitled to women's body. No, I believe women are they just feel entitled to other men's wealth and resources. They always want to talk about black generational wealth when it comes to once the NBA draft and the NFL draft comes along and they're out there with their Beckys or their Mari Souls, right? Or their Linglings, right? Then all of a sudden black generational wealth and all this. But how about the years before that? How about how you're treating these black men when they're in elementary school, when they're in preschool, middle school, high school? Those years matter as well. I mean, how you treat them, how your perception in the media, how other black women are talking about other black men. You think up even if it's not the black men specifically being treated bad by black women, you think those black men don't see how you treat the other the other black dude? People just think that everybody's we don't look at these dudes that like they don't exist the same way the women will look at other men like they don't exist. Men see everybody, even the evil dudes. They definitely see everybody. They definitely see everybody. But the problem is women just act like these other dudes don't exist. But the dudes that quote unquote exist in their eyes, they don't understand that they have eyes too, and they see how you act. They see how you are. And I don't want to see people in the comments talking stupid. White girls ain't no better. They're not. But I'm just telling you. It's not a matter of white girls are better or Latinas are better, Asian girls. It's not a matter of that. That doesn't matter. That does not matter. It really doesn't. And for them to even bring it up, it already shows that there's no even point of even talking about this issue. First of all, because especially if a black woman starts talking about stuff like this, you're really supposed to shut that shit down. You're really supposed to shut it down because really that stuff really shouldn't even matter. So let's look at some of these comments. He said the family LeBron has built, the wife he chose is one of the main reasons I respect him. And same here as well. But people don't understand. Savannah James had to put in work. Like she didn't get married to LeBron in 2003. She got married in 2013. All right. And first of all, it's only a few athletes it's only a certain percentage of athletes that are dating women of other races in America. Most of the black athletes that are married, they have black wives. It's just they just don't focus on that. Russell Westbrook also had a black wife. Chris Paul had a black wife or kids by a black woman, right? Carmelo Anthony, all these they had black wives. Most NBA players have black wives or had or have kids with black women. Most they only focus on the ones because it kind of looks goofy when it's like certain ones that have their certain girls. So yeah, most of the comments is just basically so they say, so the white coach is encouraging black athletes to make their white counterparts rich, but my black men don't see and understand this. No, it's not that. It's really not that. It's just when you're talking particularly Caucasian women, they understand long term. They understand long term side effects. So when they're around, and like I said, when they're around certain people, they'll treat them a certain way. So they make sure they're on their best behavior with certain people so they can secure the bag. First of all, they're already being coached by their parents to act a certain way when they see certain people. So they're already prepared. They're already prepared. So and then on top of that, a lot of those girls, they're not hurting for money. A lot of those girls, particularly when you talk about Caucasian females, they're not hurting for money. They come from a family. They're not hurting for money. So when they're with that dude, they're probably paying for like they're literally paying for him. When even though he's a D1 athlete bound, they're probably paying for him. I know a lot of these, they're buying these dudes cars. They're literally buying them. That's what I was trying to say in my last video. But like I said, ninjas think way too emotionally to have this kind of conversation. This is why like ninjas are never going to have like ninjas can't really have real conversations with Caucasian folks in general because it's going to get emotional. It's going to get emotional. So nothing is ever really going to be said for real. Because I remember one of the white dudes. I keep telling you that story. He told me, yeah, you're probably going to have to date white girls. This is a person that dates all races. Now, this was at a time where I actually preferred black and Latino. And I was like, what do you mean? Now, since I'm a person that I will always listen to everybody. Now, he told me this because he knew I wouldn't get offended if I said that. I could tell that he did not say this to anybody else. Are you going to say he's targeting me? No, he just understands that I'm ready for that kind of conversation. He just understands out of all the people that I'm working with, all the people I've been talking to, I think you're ready for that convo. So when coach, a lot of the times, so it is what it is. So when you guys are actually ready to have a real conversation about this kind of stuff, let me know. In the meantime, don't be putting no BS in my comment section like last time.